Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you, Eric Belair. Good morning to you, Ryan Osborne. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. The Bankroll Challenge has an accounting problem. Blender was needling me about this on Friday. He had another tweet yesterday saying I'm the most profitable person to be losing a Bankroll Challenge. But in the sake of transparency and honesty, I have no choice but to say I am failing at the Bankroll Challenge. I will show you the spreadsheet right now. Our current bankroll is $900. I entered both spies. I went on record. The previous weeks, I was on record as being in one spy. This week, I said I'm going to put them in both. And I didn't cash in either. And we'll talk about those lineups. The reason the Bankroll Challenge has an accounting problem is because I continued to do well in other contests. I had a lineup with Michael Leone and Joel Holka yesterday that won $50,000. We can talk about that lineup. As I'm accidentally closing tabs. Where is this lineup? Right here in the $1,500 single entry game changer. My account balance has never been higher. Jobs are through the roof. No. And yet here I am staring at this Bankroll Challenge where I am a loser. Good morning, Siler. I am ready to lose money on this 2-game slate. I haven't decided if I am going to play the 2-game slate, which my buddy Brick75 was saying we might get some overlay in that, or if I'm going to keep my Showdown Thought Leader status up. Or maybe I just need to pull myself up by the bootstraps and play both. Trizzy wants me to play the power sweep. We could do the power sweep. Good morning, Willis. See, Willis is an actual accountant. He could help me out here. So again, back to this issue at hand. I'm having a very good season in DFS. I'm on my most insane run ever. I've had 2 top 3 showdown scores, finished 18th in the let's see what, no, that was in this spy, right? What did I finish? I don't even have my place. Yeah, 18th. Then I finished 3rd in the spy. Leone and I and Holka finished 2nd in the juke. Then we finished 1st in the game changer. Like I'm on a total heater. And yet the Bankroll Challenge, we're underwater in the Bankroll Challenge. So I don't know how to deal with this accounting mess. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to come on here and be like, well, I ate shit yesterday in my spy lineups. Let's take a look at my 2 lineups, my Josh Allen lineup that only put up 131 points, my Russell Wilson lineup that only put 132 points up. What do I do? Do I come on here and pretend like things aren't going well? Or do we just cover the highs and the lows? I guess that's what we'll do. Thank you, Siler. Thank you. How is this guy already up and grinding, man? Well, this is the thing. Last year, I would do these reviews. Sometimes I would record them on Sunday nights when I was drunk and tilted, and you'd get my raw emotion. But this year, I'm just too busy. I do the Tilt Space show at 6:30. I record the Splash Play podcast with Chris Spags later, and there's just not enough room. So I need to get some sleep. I need to see the cold, harsh light of the morning, have my coffee out of my XFL mug, which, get it in focus, which is coming back. I don't know if you guys saw. XFL is coming back. All right. Oh, we got another CPA here. Look at this. Well, I need your guys' legitimate feedback. I need to know, do I continue this charade that the on-record Bankroll Challenge is just going okay? Or do you guys want me to lump all of my accounting into one thing? It's too complicated. I think we need to stick with this single entry challenge. And I will continue to play both spies, but I want to be on record on what I'm playing for the challenge. I'm actually arguing with Leone and Holka about our collective bankroll. We've run that bankroll up to 65,000. And they want a shot take. Like, don't get me wrong. I want to too, but I've also lost at DFS forever, and I want to be responsible with my bankroll. It's called the Bankroll Challenge. That's the one thing I think I'm good at, is staying in moderation. I still am playing the same amount of volume on my own stuff. I've ramped it up a little bit, adding in an extra spy, playing a little bit more on Showdown, but not much because I know I can lose for 50 slates in a row. You want to know how I know that? Because I've done it. I have done it. So I don't mind getting called a nit for my bankroll management, but I've been on the flip side of it, and I know that these wins aren't going to last forever, especially when you play a little bit contrarian in tournaments. So that's where I'm at. Let's see here. I'm going to check in on the chat. Go Vipers. Oh yeah. Did I celebrate last night? Yeah. I did my usual. Too many drinks on a Sunday. Stand by that Josh Allen stack. Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. Do full bankroll or name it the single entry challenge. Yeah, I think that's actually probably. Maybe I don't have an accounting problem. Maybe I just have a naming problem. It is the single entry challenge. You're right. Maybe that's what we do. Do we just update it right now? Boom. Done. It's the single entry challenge. Thank you. Yeah, this is the best live show on at 7 a.m. I can't compete with Smiz and Holka and Salvetri and all these other streamers. I can't compete with them. You know what? I play a different game than them. I get up before them. These guys are asleep. They're in their little cocoons, in their little warm single beds, just sleeping away, getting their beauty sleep, their YouTube beauty sleep. Not me, no. We're going to grind harder. You may have lost forever, but you three guys together seem pretty decent. Power of friendship. Thank you, Siler. Yeah, we do have a nice thing going over there. I hope Blender approves here. Okay. All right. Let's talk about some of these lineups, though. I will quickly touch on the lineup that I had made with Leone and Holka. So this is a higher dollar single entry, 1,500, but it's a smaller field. 212. And that's, Leone's talked about this, how this is, it really gives you a chance to take down tournaments because you're only competing with 212 people. And we ended up having 4 lineups together. We had 3 more and a 3 max, but this one, we wanted to have a DAC stack. And this, again, kind of goes to show you how little we got right. I mean, I don't even consider playing Kamara and Mike Davis, like getting anything right, in that those guys were chalk. Like everyone was on those guys. So there wasn't much thought there. Honestly, all we got right was the DAC game stack. Odell was the logical bring back. And we hit Joe Mixon. Like we essentially got 2 things right in this lineup and got first place. And I know that's oversimplifying things, but again, it's not nailing all these one-off pieces. It was 1 game stack and 1 contrarian running back. Boom. Top of the leaderboard. This lineup also finished 42nd in the Millie Maker. And another really interesting thing, this lineup would have been duplicated in the SPY. In the big SPY, the other contest where I bricked in, this guy, Jay Burner, had the exact same lineup. He took down $100,000 in the big SPY. So if we have this lineup in the SPY, we chop 75K with this guy because 100K to first, 50 to second. That's just weird to me because duplicates aren't really a thing in single entry NFL. There's just too many possible combinations. So the fact that we got on this same construction is pretty interesting. Anyways, another week where paying down at tight end works out. Adam Troutman, 2,500, bagel, no problem. You look at these top lineups. I mean, tight end is so gross right now. I saw a stat this morning from Mike Beers. George Kittle, having only played 2 games, is now the tight end 6 in PPR scoring. I mean, the tight end landscape is just absolutely gross right now. And I think both defense and tight end continue to make sense to punt and pay down at. And yeah, you are going to miss some of these Mark Andrews ceiling games, but it's more about the overall construction because we're wanting to get on these game stacks. And to do that, when you're paying up for Amari, I guess this game stack was relatively affordable. But when we're trying to get in these game stacks, we have to save money, and tight end and defense continue to be the place to do that. I mean, I joke on Twitter about if you're complaining about Adam Troutman's 0, you didn't understand the thesis of the play in the first place. But there actually is a little kernel of truth to that, in that what it allows you to do with the rest of your construction. CeeDee Lamb had to have been the most underappreciated play heading into yesterday. I was shocked at this ownership. And it's not that I thought just, okay, he's for sure going to smash. It's just price adjusted and ownership adjusted. Like last week, it was Gallup. Because we're now starting to see this trend with the Cowboys, right? Where it's like 3 of these guys are going to have really good games, and one of them is going to be the odd man out. Last week, Lamb was the odd man out. This week, it was Gallup. Schultz continues to just kind of motor along. But CeeDee Lamb in this offense that's throwing this much, everyone's on board with CeeDee Lamb as a talent. At 3.8% ownership, at 5,400, I think he just fell in that range where everyone was either going down for Brandon Cooks or they were going up for DJ Moore, and CeeDee Lamb just got lost in the shuffle. Let's see here. I want to check in on a few questions. Any leans for showdown tonight? I honestly haven't looked. I mean, I've seen that Sony Michel and Devontae Adams are ruled out, which, the obvious things are Rex Burkhead probably keeps rolling. Aaron Jones gets a monster workload again, but I haven't looked into it at all. Let's see here. Joe, what's the process when the 3 of you are going in on a lineup together? Yeah, we just have a group chat. We have a group chat where we'll text and message throughout the week. And then on Sundays, we hop on a quick call for about a half hour before lock to make sure we're on the same page. And we generally all think fairly similarly. I mean, I really like Leone's stuff, so I listen to his pod with Dink and Holka. Holka's just a slight different than us in that he likes jamming in the more expensive running backs that have that higher floor. Whereas I think Leone and I are more willing to get kind of gross with the Rojos, the Darrell Hendersons, and in this case, the Joe Mixons, who don't project as well, but still have the ceiling. But it's easier when you guys are on the same page here. Yeah, no, that's not collusion. Collusion is putting in multiple lineups via different accounts. It's well within the rules. You too can make a lineup with a friend and put it into a contest. Yes. Are you the designated hand builder for the team? It's collective. It's like that scene, and what is it in Ghost where they have the pottery? Yeah, we have our hands on the wheel together. Anyways, I want to talk about the lineups that failed. Let's go back to my lineup in the Big Spy here. This was also the lineup I put in the Bankroll Challenge, which we'll talk about, but Davis Maddox won, and I don't think I've ever recovered. So this lineup, I'm bummed out about this lineup because for a few different reasons. I knew you guys saw with Blender on Friday, I was already pretty interested in this Josh Allen game stack. And we ended up going that route. The Diggs and Waller plays went well. I did end up, I was considering Josh Jacobs as the bring back, got off of that, but I did go for more than a skinny stack. I did a 2-2 basically. Allen to Diggs, then bring it back with Renfro and Waller. Derek Carty's projections with the blitz had Renfro as one of the best plays this week, and it just felt right with this construction of hoping this game shoots out and knowing that he wouldn't be super popular. He ended up being 15.7%, which I guess people are checking out the blitz projections because he was popping there. The mistakes that I don't really think that the Marvin Jones play was a mistake per se. My thought process with that is I want a little mini correlation with Alvin Kamara in that game. And then also knowing I was going to play DJ Moore as a one-off. I'm kind of shocked that I actually don't mind it now that he got at 14% ownership. I think most places had him closer to like 20 to 25%. So I don't mind playing DJ Moore as a one-off here, but because of that, I was like, look, I'm playing Kamara, I'm playing Moore. Rojo was going to end up being popular. I need to have one kind of contrarian pivot to make sure that this lineup has some leverage. And so Marvin Jones was that play for me. I thought the Lions were in a good spot. I knew Galladay was going to get a lot of ownership. Hawkinson was. And Marvin Jones fit with this lineup. That's kind of how these things are going to go. I think what stings is in my other SPY lineup, I had the Odell Beckham, CeeDee Lamb mini correlation. And I just had these two in the wrong lineup. I mean, we'll talk about this one. This one failed in multiple spots. But if I get that Odell Lamb over here instead of the DJ Moore, Marvin Jones combo, then we're actually cooking. Then we're probably cashing there. And that's just another example of you can have the right pool, but if you don't get the pieces perfectly together, then you're going to lose. And that's why I do think it's fun to hand build, 4 or 5 lineups, because you can have your pool and you give yourself a few chances at the mixing and matching. You start with that game stack, and then you have some of these other mini correlations you like. Let me check in on the chat. I know, Ryan, how did I not ship the SPY this week? Jamari says, do we just jam Cowboys matchups the rest of the year? I mean, it feels like it, but the two things we have to consider, right, is ownership is going to rise and their prices are going to rise. So that's going to make it tricky. So if the field and the sites with their pricing don't catch up with the trend, then yeah, I think we should continue to hammer it. But I think we also have to be cognizant of prices and ownership. And that kind of thought process, Jamarius, is why I also did the Russ Wilson double stack over here. I'm just like, I don't see the paths to this failing in a huge way, and it still has that huge upside. It obviously didn't get there. Lockett had a rough game, and Carson ended up stealing a couple of the touchdowns. David Moore steals a touchdown, but that was my thought process with the Seahawks. What I should have done is doubled down again on the Cowboys. But yeah, I think that's something to consider here. Willis says, I finished 145 in the single entry challenge league. My lineup was so bad. I don't know how I didn't get last. Yeah, we'll check that in a second. My lineup was very bad too. When will we start seeing Robbie priced over DJ Moore? Honestly, probably as soon as this week. I bet. So, I mean, DJ Moore's price had already been decreed. Weren't they only $200 or $300 different anyways? I bet that flips this week. Yeah. The Logan, I haven't even looked into the peripherals for what kind of volume he had, but until they make that quarterback switch, I saw that there was a rumor that they were going to maybe go to Kyle Allen if Haskins continued to struggle. So I don't know. Kyle Allen might actually be an upgrade for Logan Thomas. And man, Terry McLaurin just balls out with whoever. Let's see. We got Clay over here. DJ was 25% projected. Robbie was great leverage. And I don't think people have realized yet that he's getting those PPR targets plus the Robbie deep threat upside. Yeah, he's doing a lot of shallow crossers. Ben Gretsch has written about that in his stealing signals column. It's definitely an interesting trend. By the way, I retweeted this morning. You have to check this out. There's the Carolina Panthers are singing Sweet Caroline after the game in the locker room, and the camera pans over to Robbie Anderson, and he's just smiling cluelessly as if he had never heard the song Sweet Caroline in his life. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite players here. Let's talk about this. This was in the smaller SPY, the 50K to first. This is the one I really did try to get lightning in a bottle twice, because this is the lineup I had, or the double stack that finished third for me last week. And again, I don't have too many regrets about Russ to Lockett and Metcalf. Gaskin, I felt his role through the first 3 weeks has been really, really good. But I've always felt like it was a fragile situation, knowing that the Dolphins brought in Howard and Breida, that I could just see the usage flip at any given time. And we kind of started to see that yesterday with Matt Breida getting worked in. But again, I liked his price, and I liked that he was going to be game script dependent because of him catching passes. I don't know. I need to think that through more about playing a running back that you think as the bring back that you also think is going to be down. I don't know if Myles Gaskin, I guess through 3 weeks, he was getting enough receptions and enough work to justify being game script dependent. But I don't know. I guess at this ownership and at this price that it's justifiable. But I'm now, as the more I think about it, I'm wondering if the ceiling was there, and if I would have been better off using Parker or Gesicki. Not something I have to think about. Darrell Henderson was a guy, I planted my flag on him yesterday. That ended up being my play of the day. That did not work out. I have no idea what McVay is doing, why he's not giving him more touches. He's just clearly a better, more explosive talent than Malcolm Brown. That one was weird. I had Henderson and Rojo as very similar plays yesterday. I thought it set up, big favorites, 2 down guys that should have a good TD expectation, good game flow. And, Rojo was $1,100 cheaper. So probably the better play, but I was playing one of Henderson and Rojo in most of my lineups. The Henderson play didn't work out. It didn't work out. Logan Thomas was just, again, kind of that thing of not minding punt tight ends. I played Troutman. I played Logan Thomas. I even played Gronk in a lineup. I don't mind punting it. It does hurt, though, that Logan Thomas just can't seem to get it going here. And then, I had this mini correlation, the Odell Lamb, which, I hit perfectly, but it just doesn't matter when you're taking so many other sub 10-point scores in this lineup. So that's single entry GPP life. You take some of these cracks really trying to climb the leaderboard. And if you don't hit on that stack, you don't have a chance here. Let me see. Oh yeah. The Sir Purr video with Robbie Anderson as well. He now just has 2 absolute classics. Love Robbie Anderson. Needed 5 more points from Henderson to take down a GPP. Oof. Yeah, that hurts. That really hurts. Which power sweep looks better tonight? I haven't looked at those yet. I got to check out the selection. I was saying I need to decide if I'm going to go showdown thought leader or 2-game mini slate thought leader. Yeah, Drake is another guy, man. I think, to me, it's like getting kind of cut and dry with these guys who aren't going to consistently catch passes. And I think the difference is people still have this like elevated view of guys in Drake, like they want to think that he's in a tier above, but Drake isn't really different from Darrell Henderson or Ronald Jones, not over the course of the entire season, but I mean, just like in a vacuum for a single week. With when you don't catch passes, you have to run very pure from an efficiency and touchdown expectation standpoint. And Mixon is the perfect example of that. People, I'm sure Eric Belair and Willis know from our ship chasing season-long drafts. I mean, these are guys we weren't drafting because we thought they were extremely fragile. However, they become incredibly fun DFS plays when the entire public jumps off of them too. Joe Mixon's ceiling has never changed. It's just we've seen the floor repeatedly, and then everyone gets off of him, and you can swoop in and capitalize in DFS. So, yeah, the Kenyon Drake stuff is he's not who we wanted him to be. Chase Edmonds is getting a lot of passing work there, and then Drake would have had some good days. He's getting a lot of rushing volume. He did leave the game early yesterday with the chest injury, but he had 13 carries before that. But he's getting stuffed at the goal line and he's not catching passes, and Kyler is rushing a lot. It's not a good situation to play a chalky Kenyon Drake. I'm not writing him off for good. I'm sure he will find his way into my DFS lineups at some point this season, but not until the ownership drops down and kind of bakes in his downside. Yeah, only 5 targets on the season. That's pretty crazy here. Let's just take a look at. I mean, I know the winner of the Big Spy had the exact same lineup that Leone and I did. The Troutman bagel, and then let's see what won this one. So it's a little different lineup. Another Dak, Carson, a really nice pivot there. Have the Ronald Jones instead of the Darrell Henderson, and then this very similar stack. Again, tight end, you don't need anything crazy. 4,800 goes for 10 points. And he has the Parker here as well. And this is another nice little correlation here. He plays Carson and Parker, who ended up being the 2 best plays from that game. Then he has the Dak game stack, brings it back with Odell. And again, too, another trend of playing these kind of mid-tier running backs and trying to get ceiling plays from your wide receivers, Cooper, Odell, Lamb, Parker. Really nice lineup here. He correlates Ronald Jones with the Buccaneers defense, and then TJ Hawkinson as a one-off. So I really like this lineup a lot. I think it's exactly how I like building these single entry. Go all in on a game stack, get some one-off running backs that provide nice leverage on the field via the ownership. He correlates Ronald Jones with the Bucs D, and then just fills the rest in at tight end with what he had left. Love this lineup here. Yes, Siler. Siler is my official social media manager. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. I've been trying to get better at it. People have told me I need to get better about that stuff, that I need to politely request people to subscribe to my channel. I always feel it feels funny to me to do that, but I'm getting better. Someone said, Pete, you don't have to always try to be cool, man. You can beg the people for likes and subs. So I guess that's what I'm doing now. Yeah. Correlation sensation right there. It's true. I mean, the correlations that, I've been saying it over and over. It just eliminates the number of things we have to get right. We got Thomas in the RotoGrinders chat trying to ask me a start-sit season-long question. Will we allow this? Am I in a good enough mood to answer a start-sit question? I think I am. I think I'm in a good enough mood. Do I trade Mixon and OBJ for CEH and Tyler Boyd? Wow. That's a good one. I think CEH is by far the best player in that deal. I think I would. I think OBJ is a teeny bit of fool's gold. This was the absolute perfect spot. Everyone gets paced up against the Cowboys. I'm worried about that offense being able to sustain, all of those guys as elite fantasy options. And Tyler Boyd is rock solid. So I think I would do it. Give me CEH. Yeah. Brandon Cooks hurt yesterday too. Him and DJ Moore, both underpriced. And I'm not one to make decisions based off of narrative news reports, but when you heard that Bill O'Brien was going to be calling the plays or taking a larger role in calling the plays, that felt eerily bad. You could just see the writing on the wall there. And I didn't see much of that game, so I don't know what was going on with Cooks, if he was just not getting any targets at all. I think the problem partly is, right, they have all these guys that are like the same physical profile, similar role, the Kenny Stills, Randall Cobb, Will Fuller, and none of these guys are going to be able to command a super consistent target share. And I think it's just, I sound like a broken record, but we want to play these guys now when they're going to be low owned, when no one wants to play them. We can't play those guys as chalk, the super volatile wide receivers who aren't going to have a guaranteed target share. So yeah, the Brandon Cooks thing was very disappointing. Yeah, I'm with Trizzy. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Odell go over 15 DK points rest of the season. All right, I've been dreading this. Let's look at Davis Maddox lineup in the Bankroll Challenge League, the former Bankroll Challenge League, which will ultimately be renamed the Single Entry Challenge, I believe, just to keep the semantics Twitter off of me. The Bankroll Challenge League. Oh, Davis Maddox. The funny thing is I don't think Davis was in this until I tweeted it out Sunday. I've been trying to keep it as a viewer league. I know I haven't been good about promoting it. Again, I've said it. I don't want to get a strike on my channel, and YouTube is very weird about linking out to DFS and gambling sites. I have created the Bankroll Challenge for this week. So if you are in the league, you have gotten this invite, and I will post the link in the chat here for you guys. There it is on my YouTube. There, the RotoGrinders YouTube. It doesn't let me paste links. It does not let me paste links. I'm sorry. We will get that. We'll get that in the show notes. Maybe RotoGrinders is more willing to put a link in their show notes than I am. Although they've had lots of issues with the strikes last year too. But anyways, hit me up on Twitter. I will give you that link. I'm trying to keep it for just the viewers. Anyways, I tweeted it out to fill it Sunday. Davis Maddox gets in and wins the league. Let's check out Davis Maddox lineup. I believe Davis also had this lineup in a $50 single entry, which he got third, I want to say, for like 12,000. I mean, it's not 50,000, but it's pretty good, Davis. Not bad. Good job, dude. I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. Dak Prescott, Amari, Odell Landry. That was the stack of the day. And I love this play here of also including Dalton Schultz and just going full on game stack. Holka was actually trying to get us on this a little bit yesterday with both a Dallas stack with tossing in Schultz and also in our Watson stack in tossing in, I believe it was Akins. And just the thesis being tight end is so gross. You're already betting on this game to have more points than other games. Might as well throw the tight end in there as well. And that really worked out here with Schultz at 4,300 going off for 17.2 points. And then Davis jammed 3 running backs, very similar lineup to the one Leone and Holka and I had. He also had Kamara and Davis, and then he had Rojo in there. And really nice play there. Punted at defense with the Texans D, which doesn't matter when you're down there at 2,500, and nailed the stack and got floor performances from the chalk. And easy game. Easy game. This is like essentially like a cash lineup with just a few tweaks when you think about it. Or maybe not. I don't play cash, so maybe this wasn't a cash lineup. I am so out of touch with the cash grinders of the world. Outside of the Gilcast and Levitan's weekly write-up, I don't have my finger on the cash game pulse. Let's see. Why not make a Bankroll Challenge Showdown Thought Leader Discord? Yeah, that could be fun. For our ship chasing show that Pat and I did, we had made a couple DM groups on Twitter, and then those have just kind of become de facto little chat rooms. Maybe we could get, I don't know the deals with Discord as far as, I'll look into it. That could be fun. I mean, I have to be honest. I'm so busy that I don't know how much time I could personally be in there, but just creating a spot for you guys to chat and I can drop in when possible. I'll look into that with kind of the Discord, how many people you can have in a free Discord without that, blah, blah, blah. So if anyone has any information on that or wants to help me get that off the ground, let me know and we could get that rolling. Thank you, Siler. I think that's a good suggestion here. Anyone else's lineup we should check out in the league here? Let's see if your name is up here. There's Jordan, our producer over at Line Movement. Nice little contrarian other side of the stack of that Dak one with Baker, Odell, Lamb, and Gallup. Let's see here. Yeah, that is a good point. Discord's a good place. I could put links and stuff. I'm going to look into this. I appreciate the suggestion. I'm going to add it to my to-do list. Who's down here in Mr. Siler and Eric Belair. Oh my goodness, you guys. Siler, after just being so nice, suggesting the Discord. Now we're going to look at his lineup. Oh man, the double bagel, Siler. The double bagel. I've been there. Eric Belair. What did Eric do? Okay, yeah. See, Eric, I like that Ram stack. I was on that earlier in the week. I had one of those lineups just like in a $3 contest. I had tossed in the Goff Woods Cooks. Goff Woods Cup. Cooks is still in his Rams uniform in this avatar. I like this lineup. And again, I think these are the kind of builds you want to make. You're going all in on a game stack that not a lot of people are going to have. I mean, look at the ownership, and granted, this is our 150-person league, but 1.3 for Goff, 2.7 for Woods, 0.7 for Cup. They have a massive team total against a bad team, and if this stack goes off, he has the other right pieces around it as far as, Kamara and Jones, and, things just didn't align. But the structure of this lineup, I like a lot. I don't mind Tyler Lockett as a one-off. I mean, he has getting into today, it seemed like he had such a a steady roll with a huge ceiling. Yeah. So I like that lineup. Yeah, we got Willis down here, bottom feeder. Okay, yeah, Willis did similar to me in my other SPY lineup with the Wilson, Lockett, Metcalf, bring it back with Gaskin. Nice play with Evans there at 4%. And then the double bagel. The week of the double bagel, the Troutman Cooks goose eggs. And again, you can live with the Troutman one at 2,500, the Cooks one at 4,500. That's really hard to overcome. Yeah, I think I'm going to use one single entry lineup across contests going forward. Yeah, what I've been doing, there's a $33 5 max. So I've been making 5 lineups and then putting those into like that's my 5 core lineups, and then I'll put those in single entry in 3 max, but I'll only have 5 lineups, and then of course the ones that I make with Leone and Holkar. So yeah, I'm still main slate hand builder for life. I do like having a more concentrated pool, trying to get mixed and match in the right way around that tighter core. And you're going to whiff some weeks. You're definitely going to whiff, and then just hoping that all the pieces come together. And also too, I mean, we keep talking about this, and I'll see comments like someone replied to, I think Leone's tweet about our lineup being like, wow, I had a similar score and I didn't win that much. And sure, part of it is because we're playing a higher buy-in contest, but the biggest part is the contest size. Like, you got to give yourself a chance to win these tournaments. And trust me, it is super fun to go after $100,000 in the SPY, but you're competing against 5,500 people. That's a lot of people. So they do have other single entries that are smaller fields. You can get in these 200 and 300 person contests. And if you nail your stack right in your one pivot, your one Joe Mixon pivot, you can take these things down. So to me, it's less about how much money do you have and more about what is the contest size. Are you giving yourself realistic chances to win, or are you just shot taking? And trust me, a lot of the stuff I've done is shot taking. Like, I want to win $100,000. I don't want to just turn, $10 into 150. It's not as fun. But if you're truly trying to just win tournaments and show that you can do it, that you can build the type of lineups that would allow you to win bigger buy-in, you got to look at the contest size. It's crucial. And yeah. So I think you just need to be realistic about what's possible. And even in these contests that we like the SPY, it's still incredibly top heavy. 100,000, 50,000, 20,000, 10,000. I mean, that you could finish top 25 out of over 5,000 people and you only 15x. And again, all of us would be excited about that, but it is to realize the expected value over a long run. You need to be getting first or second over the long term, because that's where all the money is. And that's why it's important to be building these lineups that have a chance to finish first and second. And it's just harder to do in these bigger fields. So to Eric's point, if you are going to make that one lineup, toss it in a few of the smaller ones. I think that's definitely the way to go, because then when you do have that good hit, when you do have that perfect lineup, you are having it across all of these different contests, and you can really, really capitalize. When you're right, you want to be really right. Let's see here. Let me check in on some of the chats here. Rams let me down bad. Yeah, I feel you. DJ Dog says, I feel like to be contrarian, you either need to play a QB like Tom Brady, who has no rush upside, or running back like Henry with small catch upside. Yeah, I agree. I almost feel like, and I've heard other people talk about this, but with the way that the quarterbacks are priced now, that it is really hard to go down at QB. We don't have those days where you could get QBs at like 4,500 and it made sense to punt. Like, you really need these quarterbacks that have the rushing upside, or the quarterbacks like Matt Ryan, who are just going to throw a ton. But I do really agree with the running backs with small catch upside that are going to catch low ownership, but still have a high ceiling based on their projected touch count, that are going to be low owned. Exhibit A, Joe Mixon this week. Those are the smash plays. Joe Holka in the chat, he wants the Thunderdome right after I have talked about bankroll management for a large part of the past 30 minutes. We have the devil on my shoulder. Joe Holka in here trying to get me to practice poor bankroll management. Seiler wants the Thunderdome. Everyone wants the Thunderdome. Apparently, we are already registered for the luxury box. Leone's drunk last night and registering us for contests. I said, wait. I thought we were going to have a group conversation about this. So I need, the accountant in me needs to have a tough talk with Leone and Holka about how we're managing our money. Yes. Do I believe in the process for Eric's Slate IQ Showdown articles? I love those articles. I think those are some of the best pieces of Showdown content out there. He looks at historically similar contests and points out which type of constructions, as far as how many players from one team versus another have provided leverage. The one kind of constant has been 5-1 builds end up winning at a higher rate than they're used by the field. But he goes through each individual game based on the over-under, based on the type of teams, and then runs the sims on how those have performed in the past. So I think those articles are great. And those are the first thing I read before I start making my lineups, because it kind of gives you that bird's eye macro view of the slate. And he also talks about which positions have historically offered leverage on the field, whether that's defense or a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, running back 2. So I love reading those articles. And Baimfor is one of the sharpest dudes. I shouted him out yesterday on our line movement show as well. He's I love seeing in the RotoGrinders expert survey who Baimfor is on. I like everything he does. So we need to get him on the Bankroll Challenge Friday show. I have a few guests I want to get on, and Eric is definitely one of them. Where can the peeps find his work? At RotoGrinders. Yeah. So if you go, I'm sure, let's do this right now. I'm sure that I'm not sure if they have the Slate IQs up yet. What I normally do is I head over here. It is under I believe his stuff is under the premium subscription here. I just go to NFL home, and let's see here. We got the Gilcast up. It looks like they don't have the premium up yet, but I will give you guys a little peek of what it looks like if I can find it. Here we go. So this was the article from last night, the Slate IQ. And I also think if you want to find it, if you just go to his author page, his profile page, you can probably see, then you can see articles written by Baimfor. So rotogrinders.com/profiles Baimfor. And then you can see all of his stuff. This other column he does, weekly building a high stakes tournament lineup, is also really good. I would highly recommend that. But anyways, just to show you what it looks like, he shows the team allocation. So this is in historically similar matchups. The 5-1 for this is last night's Eagles 49ers has offered the most amount of leverage, followed by 4-2. And then 3-3, which has generally been the most popular, wasn't offering leverage. And then he also looks at the captain usage position. So it's what, how it's actually played out versus what the field was doing. And so in this one, it pointed out RB1 and tight end 1. Obviously, we saw that come to fruition with George Kittle last night. So and then he gives you a little bit of projected ownership for the top plays. So it's one of the better macro view things you can take a look at. Let's see here. What do we do about tonight's game with the Patriots backfield? There's a ton of value there, but picking the right one. I mean, I'm partial to Burkhead. Seems like Burkhead's going to keep rolling. And I think the reason they like Burkhead is because he doesn't tip off what they're going to do. They can either run or pass with Burkhead on the field. It's just so obvious when James White's on the field what they're going to be doing. So I prefer Burkhead. I don't know what the ownership is going to end up being, though. It might get out of control. Eric Baimfor in the chat. How's it going, Eric? We were just touting your work. All right, guys. This has been fun. I will. Sony ruled out. Yeah. That's what I was referencing with that. I believe Damian Harris is back, although it's hard to know what kind of workload he's going to get after coming off of the injury. So yeah. All right, guys, this was fun. I appreciate you guys along for this ride. Even if we're rebranding, even if we are no longer the Bankroll Challenge, if we're the Single Entry Challenge, I do think that is a good semantic shift to make for the challenge. Thank you for that suggestion, Eric. Thank you, Siler, for the suggestion of getting a Discord going. I will look into that. The Bankroll Challenge League is up. If you missed the link in the chat, hit me up on Twitter at Peter Overzet. I'll get you that link and we can keep it here for us and not the Davis Maddox of the world just trying to scoop our league before a Sunday. All right, guys, you're the best. Let's keep this great season rolling. Enjoy the double header tonight. I will see you guys back. We'll be here on the Swolecast YouTube channel on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern like usual. And then I'll be back Friday on RotoGrinders for the Bankroll Challenge Week 5 build. I will get a guest booked for that shortly. Have a great Monday, guys. Enjoy the games tonight.